And here we go. Hello, Tinker teachers, and welcome to Preparing to Teach Our AI with Tinker. And I hope you're all having an enjoyable fall, and I hope the school year has started off well for everybody, especially fall if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, and of course, you're in the Southern Hemisphere. Happy spring. But I'm Daniel Rizak, and always super excited to have you all join us for these PDs. These are always a great time to meet so many of you and chat with so many folks that are all around the world doing the best work you can possibly do, and that's teaching. So thank you so much and welcome to this Tinker PD as we get ready for Hour of AI. I'm excited about Hour of AI. This is going to be a great new way, a new kind of spin on getting everyone excited for Computer Science Education Week. So definitely while you're already doing this, right? Get to know each other. This is the best part of these PDs and getting to know. We see Karen from New York and Michelle from New Hampshire and folks from all over the world. We've got folks from Greece. Hello. And Tina from Idaho and New York City. And get to know each other. If you want to invite anyone else, you can use that link right there and share this out, add a few more. We'd love to have them. But great opportunity to meet other Tinker teachers, share resources, things like that. So tell us who you are if you're just joining us. Also, we are going to compile a lot of our resources over here on our Tinker blog. So as we go through today's PD, you can use that link. You can bookmark it, and there's also a link there, Tinker AI blog, which will help you to have one place to go. But today's agenda, here is today's agenda. We're going to get to know what's new with Tinker, a couple of new things. I want to make sure I share some new stuff with you as you may have not gone to our last PDs or seen some of our updates. And then I'm going to walk you through what is an hour of AI with Tinker. I'll show you some of the great new lessons that we have for you for Hour of AI. Great stuff for third grade, fourth grade, and on up. There's some wonderful projects there for everybody. Then our friend Sean, amazing Tinker expert here, is going to jump in, and he's also going to help us prepare for an hour of AI with some additional lesson prep and some great resources, Google Teachable Machine and things like that. And then I'll show you how to get in to AI to Tinker and assign the hour of AI so you can track progress. And that's going to be inside the Tinker dashboard. Then Sean's coming back. We're going to do Turtle Racer. He's going to show us the amazing new Turtle Racer project and then some additional resources at the end. So always stay to the end. We got some great things happening in the end. And there's Sean. He's going to be joining us in just a moment. So don't forget to stay to the end because at the end we're going to give away a Tinker t-shirt, kind of like this one. It's our favorite one. It's the one everyone loves, the I Teach Kids to Code short shirt. And so stay for that. We'll do a raffle, but you got to stay engaged in the chat. If you're in the chat and you're saying stuff in the chat, then we will pick a random winner from today's chat. So what is new with Tinker? Let's start there. We've got a couple of new items with Tinker in the last few months, and one is that we just relaunched, I should say, relaunched our AI ebook. So I don't know if you have seen it. I know we sent out an email a couple weeks ago, but we've got this ebook which has additional AI projects. So make sure to, you're going to want to get access to that. We'll put it in our resources for you today. But there's additional projects there. It's on the blog right now, and you have to be logged in or you have to be signed up or signed in for Tinker to access that. So just keep that in mind. That's the ebook and some great additional lessons for your students there. Next, there's another amazing webinar that you're going to want to add to your schedule. This is happening during CS Ed Week, and it is an hour of AI with Tinker and Lumio. So Lumio is a great platform that allows you to do kind of like lesson prep activities. It's very Kahoot-like, but you can join that one. That's, I think, on the Tuesday of Hour of AI week. And so that's your link for joining and registering for the Magic of Lumio and Tynker. It's going to be great, tons of fun. In the past, again, you don't have to, these are open events, so students can join, they're live, and they can participate in these Lumio and Tynker lessons. And I've seen hundreds and hundreds of students join these lessons before. So they're just totally fun. And so that that is coming up in just, but just about a month. So add your name to the lists on that one. All right, and that's going to take us to our preview of Hour of AI. And I'm going to walk you through some of the projects we have here before Sean joins us to help us prepare for these lessons. But I'm going to take you to the Hour of AI page here, and we're going to walk through 5 of these projects, or well, 4 of them. Sean's going to do one of them. But they are totally fun, and they use our AI libraries, and they're just a tons of fun for students and really open up the opportunity for AI literacy and having that conversation with students. So where are we going to find this? We're going to start with Hour of AI, tynker.com/Hour of AI. And I'm going to go here, right here, and just, you can type it in, tynker.com/Hour of AI. And then you're going to be seeing this landing page right here. It's got our 5 AI lessons today. Helps to be logged in. You don't have to be, but it does help. But then you've got some activity details, more events. There's the registration link there for the Lumio webinar that's happening soon. And then your teacher guides for each one of these, and then standards. And so these are just, we just put it in such an easy place for you. But we have these great projects, 3rd grade and up. I would say that's kind of how we're categorizing those. Beginner projects, then there's one advanced project there. But I'm going to open up weather control and just kind of give you a preview of what this looks like and how this will work. But hopefully you're familiar with the Tynker workshop. And, like always, I'm going to talk to every kind of Tynker teacher, pros, veterans, and beginners if you've never used Tynker before. So this is the Tynker workshop. And so if if I'm talking like I'm talking to a beginner, it's because there's so many variety of educators that join these webinars. So the Tynker workshops here, we have the IDE, or the, this is like the development environment here where your blocks go, where you can program your actors. This is your stage. I'm not going to get too far into that, but I'm going to just preview these projects. And so this is weather control, and weather control uses an AI library. And this is what a sample project looks like. So it's programmed basically to trigger the background movement based on the movement of one's body. So you can see here that this is, and students can go farther and farther and farther with this, but there's just, it's tons of fun. Put both hands up, and, it's raining and it's lightning. And so it's just a ton of fun. It uses those AI libraries, the body tracker library. So that is weather control. Yeah, I'm going to leave that. That's okay. We're going to take a look at balancing act. And balancing act is, again, going to use these AI libraries, but in this case, it's also using physics, some of the physics blocks. And when we hit the space bar, basically our job is to make sure that the ball never drops. So you have to use your head to ensure that the ball doesn't drop. So it's a fun game, but it does get a little bit even more fun as we're using the AI blocks. So that's balancing act. Next, you've got Tickle Monster. And Tickle Monster is triggered basically by, we're using our hand detection. So you're going to see we've got hand detection, and students are going to be asked to draw their own character, and then they can tickle them like that. And it triggers audio, and it's a ton of fun. So that's Tickle Monster. They're going to love that. And then finally, I'm going to show Fruit Fighter, but Sean is going to go over Turtle Racer with us in a moment here. This is a block project, so it uses text uh, the text editor, and then we can show you an example of what that text editor looks like here as it tracks your finger, and you're doing some. Basically, this is like you remember Fruit Fighter or what was the name of that game? It's very similar. So it's tracking your finger. And so this one's a little more for the advanced students, but it's a ton of fun. It's a ton of fun. And again, all of those guides are there. The lesson plans are directly below. They're illustrious, and you've got how to prepare and activities and objectives and all your standards and everything you need to really be successful with those lessons. But tons of fun for students. So so don't forget where to start, and that is tynker.com/hour of AI, and they're going to love that. So next, we are going to jump over to our friend Sean. Sean's going to join us. He's going to help you discover three amazing activities to help prepare students for these lessons as we dig into more AI literacy. And Sean, you want to jump in and
Yeah,
introduce yourself and tell us what we're going to see.
awesome. Yeah, welcome everyone. My name's Sean Marschke, PD specialist here with CodeHS and Tynker. So excited to show you guys a few examples here of some other AI tools that you can kind of use to educate your students about different ways AI learns. So we'll have here the uh, different resources here that we'll share in links as well as in the resource we share at the end here. But we're going to look at, I'm going to show you Quick Draw and Teachable Machine, but we also have XYZ Toy here. Where you can use these to basically help your students understand the different concepts that go on with machine learning and how AI models are trained. So I'm going to hop into here our quick draw. What the heck? There we go. All right. In quick draw here. This is a neat little tool. It's just quickdraw.com/with Google. So these you could actually play along with some of your students. With the quick draw here, you're basically told to draw little objects. So in this case, potato. Let's see. Hey, okay, we got a potato really quick there. And you just kind of go through, try these different. And I think we can mute it. But oh, I missed what I'm supposed to be doing here. Was it toothpaste? I already lost track. But we'll move on here. Car, and you just kind of go through and
You're an amazing artist.
I know, I don't know what's the problem here, but just move on. And we'll just try this really quick.
That one's hard.
I'm really stumping it today. But the idea is after we draw 6 of them here, there we go. When we get to the end of those, it'll actually show you what it got right, what it got wrong. Oh, it's smiley, not toothpaste, so that's the problem. And then you can actually go in and kind of show your students how this machine learned uh, what the toaster was. So you could see, okay, toaster, maybe it was a suitcase, maybe it was a cooler. And you can see all the different submissions it's received previously to learn different ways people draw toasters. And so it kind of builds up from there. Yeah, the police car, but not car is funny, right, Mary? But yeah, you kind of get to go through and explore that, show them like, hey, yeah, like if you submit more and more samples of things, how different people think of that. That's what these libraries are based off of and how they learn. Um, Similarly, teachable machine. Similarly, you can go to teachablemachine.com or slash dot with Google. Um, And what's neat with this, oh, thank you, Kristen, is you can actually give it samples of, for example, in this case, we have three samples of happy, sad, surprised, a bunch of different random images. Like these are like stock photos. And if I was to try and get my input here, I've already trained this, but you'll actually like process and have it train. And there we go, it's my camera. You can see like it'll try and guess like, oh, is he happy? Is he sad? Mm, mm. Hmm. Surprised. But you'll notice it's because maybe the hands, a lot of the surprised images actually have arms in them, right? And so you can kind of have these discussions with your students of like, hey, why is this not thinking it is the thing we want it to think? You can talk through then what you need to do to actually train this machine up to understand what those different things are. So in this case, I may need to give it some samples of myself being surprised. Like, oh, hmm, well, it'd be a frown, right? But and it'll add those images. You retrain the model, um, and then once it's done, it'll like process that and allow us to see like now everything's surprised because we just gave it visions of myself as a bunch of those, right? So, or a bunch of images of myself. And so you'd go through, kind of play with these different samples and try those out that way. So, these are great as like demonstrations. You can do them with all your students. You could have a collection of the images and things like that to train it up and share that out with your students that way. And then that third one there, we'll save some time on going into it, but basically the XYZ toy allows you to actually try and do a little guessing game based off of what an AI thinks something is and going from that. So awesome. All right, I'll hand it back to you, Dan.
Awesome. That was great. Thank you so much, Sean. And that is, uh, from what I gather, that's computer vision. I think
Yes.
I've got some terminology to share here in a minute, but let me get back to sharing my screen so that I can get back into this. Here we go. All right, everyone got that? So I compiled a page where you can get all of these links together. So you should be able to see all three of these resources there, or use your QR code if that is helpful to you. But so everything is there, all three of those. And that's awesome. This is, I think, just a great opportunity, a great way to introduce the Tynker AI lesson, since so much of what it is doing is using these AI libraries that were trained, on bodies, hands, faces, things like that. So that's a great way to introduce those. So let me show you folks how to access the Tynker Hour of AI. And there's a couple different ways to get to these lessons. And I just want to make sure everyone knows where everything is and how to assign these lessons as well. So let me open up my screen here and get into my Tynker dashboard so I can show you where we are accessing Hour of AI content. So this is the Hour of AI. So on the very basic, if you didn't have a Tynker account, you didn't want to sign up for Tynker or anything like that, you could actually just share tynker.com/hour of AI with your students, and they could start engaging in these lessons. So that is one way to do this. You've got the resources here if you want to, but you can just go to that link, and they can start working on these projects independently. Just something to keep in mind, that they're going to go through these, and if they're not logged in, or they're not part of a class or something, then it's not going to save their work. So that's just maybe something you want to have happen when students are doing these. So just keep that in mind. But I'm going to go ahead and go to my dashboard so I can show you a couple other ways that you might want to engage in Hour of AI. So I know that back in the day, it used to be a challenge when a lot of these hour of AI, hour of code activities were just out there, but there wasn't really any way to track progress. So if you if you have a Tinker class, and I always recommend, making sure you have your class, have a class set up if you can. I've got some students in this class. I can go to my lessons page here. There's an hour of code course right there. I can add more. And right down here, you're going to see Hour of AI as its own like individual course. And so just click that assign button. And now students, when they log in, are going to have access to the AI projects for Hour of Code. So that's another way you can have them dive into the Hour of AI project. So you can see that now that my teacher guide is here. I can see some progress here, which will jump over to my grade book. And then when you jump into the grade book, it takes a second or two for that to load, but you're going to be able to track their progress throughout all of our free activities. And so you'll see balancing act, weather control, tickle monster, those things right in there. And then I think you'll even see there's turtle racer, which we're going to get to soon. And so all of those are there. You can also have to unfilter so I can see every lesson that is available. And so there's a lot there that you can track. As they are also tracked with standards, when they complete these, there's a standards tab in the gradebook as well. So you'll be able to track that through your gradebook and through the standards. So another way to get there, if you're in your resources tab, there's an Hour of AI link right here, right in the resources tab. This is just a little different. I just want to let you know, because this is a teacher page for Hour of AI. And so within this, you've got your four AI projects there. If you click on the middle tab, you'll see AI ML, and then you'll see like Turtle Racer there. When you click on these, though, you get a different page that basically breaks each activity down a little bit more succinctly. You've got a teacher guide, you've got your standards, everything right there. It kind of gives you more of a breakdown of each individual project on those pages. And so those are all within your teacher dashboard, right in the resources tab over here on Hour of AI. So that is a few different ways to access and assign and track Tynker Hour of AI projects as you go through this exciting CS Ed Week experience with us. So let me then just a pro tip, of course, if you have access to a grade book, you can sort by hour of code in the grade book. It's always a good idea. But next, we're going to bring back Sean, and Sean's going to walk us through Turtle Racer. So do ensure that you are logged in. You're going to go to tynker.com/hour of AI, and you're going to choose Turtle Racer, and we're going to get an idea of what Turtle Racer is like, and it's going to be fun. All right, I think you need to unmute.
Welcome, everyone. Yeah, so yeah, if you want to follow along, feel free to open up a new screen, or you can watch as I go through here. We're going to actually get into the Hour of AI Turtle Racer lesson. So, as Dan mentioned, you can get to it from your Hour of AI page here. We can hop into Turtle Racer. You'll see when we launch it from this student side, it actually brings us straight into it. Like the lessons we looked at before, you can preview these to kind of see how it's going to work ultimately. And so in this one, we're actually steering our friend here. Yeah, camera should be working. Let's see. There we go. So it's actually tracking your two hands to guide the turtle around. And so what's cool about this is with all of these projects, you're actually going to be building the code for students. So you will be able to actually hop in and use these tutorials that are built out to go along and learn how to actually code this program. And so it'll walk us through. We can build the instructions. So every single one of these, it's going to be doing some sort of pose detection. So in the turtle racer here, it's doing hands detection. And then we also wanted to show us the detection. So that's where the little framework that we saw in that preview comes from. And so I can test that right away and it'll show me, hey, there's my hands. But all we're seeing right at this point is the thumbs up. It's not actually doing anything with our turtle, right? But we did get to see the mesh on the stage. Kind of keep going through. It'll actually take us through the different areas we need to code. So we actually did the stage is where we did the hands detection. Now we're in the turtles code and we're going to have to start programming how it's going to move around. So we can do our set rotation style, set its initial direction, and it wants us to set up this forever loop. And add this keeping it in bounds set of code here. So nice thing with this, to make it nice and easy for students to jump into, we put together a bunch of these very specific blocks of code. In this case, this is going to put the turtle back at the next edge of the screen when they get to the end of it, so you don't lose track of them. All right, and so then, yeah, we're going to actually program how it moves. So we can use our get bounds. It'll actually pull this in and how much we're going to move per. And every time with all our tutorials, as you're progressing through, it's going to keep you notified of like what you should expect, what you should be looking for. Really helpful if your students get stuck, you can have them actually go in and check that they're matching up with what it's telling them to have out here at this point. All right. And so right now, all it's going to do if we were to run this code is just send our turtle off in the straight line because we haven't actually tied it to how to move. And so now we're going to add that programming in here. So what we're actually doing is programming it so it'll steer based off of where our hands are, based off of specifically the wrists. And so we'll get to add this to our forever loop here for the control of the turtle. And we're going to be setting its angle based off of the left and the right wrist. And so we're going to adjust that angle based off of the, oh, let's pull this guy up here. Attach that in here, and you notice it's inserted. And you just kind of keep order. We can test now and see if we're steering. Looks like I missed something. So that's what part of debugging. We'll get to go in and make sure. Oh yeah, and I have to set the angle within here, right? So that's actually going within our forever loop. That's why you read the directions. And you go there. So now if we test it, see our hands, left, right. I see a question about basing it off the wrists, and that's specifically because generally that's just going to be the most like central point to anchor it off of. Your thumbs might move, your fingers might move, but your wrists are kind of like how you're going off of a steering wheel there, right? And then we saw it turning. So neat. We get to progress on. And so because this is a game, we want to have a way, to actually keep score. And so we get to code that in here as well. So you're kind of teaching start to finish, like how you would build a game, which is really cool. So it's not just putting the cool character in there. It's not just adding the controls. There's also rules and things like that you get to program as well. So in the goals of this game, we want to eat all those pieces of kelp. So we're going to create a score variable. We're going to add it to the stages code editor below the initialize. Yeah, so we can just throw it in here. Once all the 4 kelp actors have been consumed, we're going to display a message. So we can tell that here, and that's all coded for us nicely. And so we could see it'll look like that. Not too picky, but I'll just throw it in the order it shows me there so I know I have everything set the way it should be. Yeah, and I agree, Sandra. It's interesting to like think about other ways they could keep track. So with the increase of the score, we need to actually add it to our kelp actor, which actually clones as we start the game. And so we need to add it inside the if touching turtle block. So we actually have to go in. This is a great way for students to actually learn to read the code as well and track down like, oh, okay, here's if touching turtle. Here's my block. We're going to change our score and we're going to send the piece of kelp off screen, basically, is what that's doing. And so what's really cool about this is you're spending time actually digging in, building it up. But if they get curious, they can like see there's a lot more going on to this than like just the initial programming that we're doing here, right? So they get to students can definitely like spend a lot more time exploring it as well. But here we see, okay, that looks about like what I have coded here. Great. We can test it again. I can see my wrists. And yeah, we can start kind of moving around. See if we can get it all. Oh gosh, and it's a hint there for you. If your students struggle at all, as we talked about with the wrists, you do kind of want to try and keep your hands up on the screen as we're seeing there. But hey, we win. And yeah, you get to the next step there, and it gives you some bonus things that they could try out. So they could try and make it go super fast, make it more challenging. They could change the amount of kelp they need to get and how much is added. You could even have them go super advanced and add enemy actors that they have to try and dodge. So really, really cool stuff that highly, I think is super fun for these students to hop into. So as I mentioned, kind of showing there, I even demoed it. If you want to try and keep your hands in that screen, if they go off, then they're going to start losing control. So keep an eye out for that.
That was great, Sean. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. And educators, teachers, just kind of a reminder too. Like once I always try to remind folks in my when I'm working with students, like, okay, follow the instructions, but then once you've gone through that, go back, change things, put in your own actors, change the media. Let's see what happens when we try different angles. Like it's totally up to you folks to, like let your students go and see what happens. If they break it, it's okay. You can revert. It's not the end of the world. But these projects do give students a really good chance to be creative. So let them really build on it when you get the chance. So thank you so much, Sean. That was wonderful. I'm going to
Happy
go
to.
ahead and there's a couple of things. There was a question in the chat that I want to address. So let me get back to sharing my screen here. One was about advanced projects. So I do want to just let you know that there's a place for you to get even more projects. Okay. So before we move on to that, just I know Sean had a tip. Sorry, I went too fast. Um, but
I, I, I I think I explained it. Yeah, we're good. No worries.
all right, no, that's good. I'm getting ahead of
Yeah.
myself. But the other thing I did want to address too, there's two questions. One was just how is this AI, so to speak, and all of these projects utilize AI libraries. So there's one term in here that I wanted to make sure that everyone is aware of, and you can talk to your students about models and computer vision, right? Because in order for these models to learn what hands look like and what faces look like, they all have to be trained. And so one of those Google exercises that you did actually shows how we can train a model, and so that's basically what these models are doing. They've been fed thousands of images of hands in different positions and lighting conditions, and through that training, now we're using those models to integrate into these projects so that students can learn that. And what's also very cool is that we do have an advanced in our advanced AI course. If you're interested later, I'll give you the link. But we have a project and a lesson that teaches students how to actually train models. So it all does tie together. But one thing I did want to, before I kind of go into a lot of the additional stuff here, we have a few minutes. Now I can go back and I want to address this one piece where someone was asking about, are these all block projects, text projects? There is additional projects that you can find and your students can find within your dashboard. They're in the projects database. So I want to make sure you know where those are. Let me just, um, there we go. If you click on your projects and you scroll to the STEM and AI right there, you're going to see a folder with block and then AI projects that are more advanced. And so if you have, more advanced students, high school students, advanced middle schoolers, they want to get into these projects, then you've got these great opportunities to dive in. There's finger puppets and math quiz and Mr. Potato. And so I just want to make sure you know where all of those are. I'm not going to open them up, but it's there's so much more available to you in Tynker. And if you have more advanced students, then definitely uh, point them to that spot. So next, just a couple of things. I want to make sure that you have some additional avenues as to go when you're done with Hour of AI and you want to know what more you can do. So let's show you some additional resources where you can have some fun with your students and learn more. We do have two courses. One is for uh, elementary, one's like middle high. So there's a block course and then there's an advanced course. And you can take a look at those, preview those, what's available. Everything there is at that link, codehs.com/tinkerai. So take a look at those. Basically, what you're seeing in the block programming, it's for third through eighth grade. They're basics and ethics. They're learning natural language processing, understanding. So we are preparing students for really understanding artificial intelligence and building their AI literacy. So that's what I love about these. And then there's a text coding course, again, middle high. That's going to be a little bit, like I said, you're going to see and train and build models. Your students will be, and learn about reinforcement learning and genetic algorithms. And there's some really good stuff there. So definitely explore that. And you can also, I think I've shared this before, but I'm putting in there again. There's the Lumio event. If you weren't there in the beginning, we're doing a webinar during CS Ed Week with Lumio. And it's basically like a live lesson. So it's for your students. It's for students. So make sure that it's not a PD webinar. It's really designed for students to join in, have fun, be guided through some preparation exercises, and then we're going to do a Tynker lesson together. Then we also have some amazing Hour of AI webinars for your state. So we're adding more and more every other day. So go to codehs.com/freepd so that you can access these webinars because they really are amazing opportunities. If your state's not on there, let us know. Maybe, there's an opportunity for us to get them on the list before that week happens. But basically, these are similar. They're live lessons for students in your state. And I know we've added a bunch so far, Kentucky, and I know we're talking with Ohio, and I know that we've done Alaska. So check that link. You'll see them there. If you don't see your state on there, let us know. Idaho. We'll work on that. Then, if you are curious about Tynker, want to see a plan, I know some of you have done Tynker trials and you want to take a look at, digging in a little bit deeper to Tynker, then you can do that and check out a Tynker, Tynker Premium. There's 1,000 hours of content there. I know that many of you request and are curious about those things, so you can request a plan there. And again, the ebook right there, there's a direct link there, but you have to be logged in. AI ebook right there. That's another 4 or 5 projects that are not part of Hour of AI. So definitely go there. And we need a t-shirt winner. So can someone help me? Who's our t-shirt winner?
Yes,
Random
our
t-shirt winner.
t-shirt winner of this webinar, drum roll, please, everybody, and thank you for connecting to our webinar. Our t-shirt winner is Tina. Congratulations, Tina from Idaho. You get a very awesome Tinker t-shirt. Congrats.
Awesome. Tina, we're going to need your email address, just so you know. So we have to send you a code, and then you will have this wonderful t-shirt. And I can't wait to see what, your Tinker t-shirt. And so, all right. Congratulations, Tina. Good work. And what next? Educators love Tinker. Here's some great feedback. We're getting that kind of feedback every day. But did want to just thank you all so much for joining us today. This has been a ton of fun. I hope it didn't take up too much time in your day. This is one of, a series of things that we're going to be doing, over the next few weeks. So definitely check back. We've got enough links there. So you've got plenty to do with your students, but I can't wait to see how you're having an hour of AI with your students. And I know you're going to have a ton of fun, but always, of course, ask us questions. If you have any questions about Tinker, about any of these AI projects, you can ask at schools@tynker.com. And if you want to get more PD, request PD, there's a link there as well to check out additional PD for you or your school. But schools@tynker.com, we have a team that is just going to answer your questions right away. They're great. So check that out. And guess what, friends? We have a survey. So if you could please, we're not done yet. There's like 1 or 2 minutes. This literally takes a minute. But if you can, please put in your details into the survey. Let us know how we did and if this was helpful for you. I hope it was. We try to provide some great opportunities for learning here and for your students. And Tinker's a ton of fun. So please go to Tinker Web Survey at codehs.com/Tinker Web Survey so that we can get your feedback and you can let us know if how we're doing and what we can do better. All right. Did I put that? Oh, I didn't put that in the thing. Oh, there it is. I'll give you just a couple more seconds to click on that link in the chat because we really do value your feedback. So I really, really would love it for you to click on that link and give us a couple of minutes of your feedback. So that would be awesome. Okay, so I think, my friends, that is going to just about do it for us today. So thank you all so much for joining, and we love our Tinker teachers. Take care.